Nigerian leaders flying jets to wedding while citizens rot in bandits' den. Sheikh Gumi knocks politicians. Controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has faulted politicians for hiring private jets to attend the wedding of President Muhammadu Buhari's son, Yusuf Buhari, on Friday, while hundreds of school children are languishing in the bandits' den. Recall that Yusuf Buhari married Zara Bayero, the daughter of the Emir of Bichi, Nasir Bayero, in a grand ceremony held in Bichi, Kano. The event was attended by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former President Goodluck Jonathan, and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, serving and former governors, traditional rulers, as well as prominent personalities from within and outside the country. According to Daily Post, Sheikh Gumi, doing a preaching program at Sultan Bello Mosque in Kaduna, stated this, adding that Nigerian politicians hired private jets to attend the president's son's wedding but forgot hundreds of innocent souls languishing in kidnappers' den across the country. Sheikh Ahmad Gumi then asked when Prophet Muhammad married off his daughter, who came from Mecca or Yemen, in the entire Medina, no righteous person to oversee the solemnization. Some politicians are spending money to hire jets, so they don't own it. Wow, embarrassing. To go to a wedding while criminals are holding people to ransom in the bush. The criminals, bandits, are milking the people. The cleric decried how politicians corrupted the clergy, saying religious leaders have become subservient to politicians. Why are you surprised? Are you just realizing that now? Okay. Yeah, he basically went in. Okay, cool. I mean, being objective, absolutely, he's absolutely right. You're hiring. Have you just forgotten COVID and the restrictions? And not only that, you're now hiring jets. Hiring. You don't even own. Okay, I know some of them would own, but then if you're going out of your way to hire private jets to go for a wedding, I'm just like, okay, so the money is there. So y'all have the money because the money is what is paying your salaries that enables you to be able to afford these jets. I don't want to hear about any side businesses. It's the money from the government that is helping them buy these jets and all that. So if you're able to do that, then what is even going on? Because, okay, first of all, with Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, sometimes he says things that absolutely do not make sense in terms of logical chain of reasoning and all that. But then sometimes, well, not sometimes, it's rare. Okay, this is I'm agreeing with what he's saying, and I'm not going to let what he said in the past block the message that he's trying to pass across with this specific message, holding the government accountable for their actions, which is hypocritical of the politicians themselves. It's the lack of consistency for me. But he's been consistent in, being on the side of the government and just saying things that I personally don't agree with. But this here totally makes sense. But then it's it's funny because you're now biting the hands that feed you, and now that's now shady. So I don't understand, because where do you lie as a sheikh? Where do you lie? You're neither here or there. And now all of a sudden, because if you were invited, would you be saying all these things? If you're invited and if you're given a private jet to flying with some other prominent, some other politicians, would you be saying these things? Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't be saying these things. So it's I agree with what you're saying, but because of who you are, you're consistent, and your consistency in siding with the government, now all of a sudden you're changing your tone. Because the government that you used to defend, of course, did used to pay you. Let's not pretend. So all of a sudden you're criticizing them, as you technically should, but then because you haven't, the message doesn't pass across. Somebody here says Gumi, the father of Northern terrorist kidnappers group. It's funny because the people that you're defending, you're you're speaking against them indirectly by holding the government accountable, which of course hold the government accountable, but then how would your followers think of you? Because that is the real question. Like, how would herdsmen that you've been an advocate for, how would they feel about this? Trying to get the government to come and, go after them. But then again, it's like, what's the point? They're going to be reintegrated into society. They're going to be added into the army. So what is the point anyway? So again, in conclusion, with what is happening here, there is literally no point. There's literally no point. If he said nothing, it wouldn't even make a difference, because there is literally no point. It's like 0 equals to 0. It all cancels out. It's 0. No production, no effectiveness, nothing at the end. So what is going on? Somebody says maybe he didn't achieve his weekly ransom target. That is why he's talking. If government and individuals paid all ransom demanded by these guys, he will be saying well of the government. I don't probably disagree with that. Someone says he's only interested in the money that he gets. Well, that's him for you. And why can't the bandits go to the wedding ground for their cash instead of kidnapping ordinary citizens? Again, it's like, how tactical. I mean, of course the government doesn't care, but we move. It's clear to us that you're in for business, quote GUMI the negotiator. That's once he's fulfilling his role, that whoever appointed to him, but that is what's happening. Someone says there's no peace for the wicked, you will die soon with the okay. Let's not even go there. Not that he cares about the citizens, no, but that he has stopped receiving his quota from the deals. Business is not booming like before. We move. Assuming the poor people of Adamawa traveling to attend a wedding in Kano. By now, the counting number of deaths by bandits, I think it's time for the bandits to look for private jets at this point, because first of all, they'd even be in trouble, because we're now hearing that they're hiring private jets. If you're hiring something, it suggests that you do not own it. You're hiring it for that day, so you don't own it. So then they'd be in debt, because not only would they have to pay for what has been lost if the bandits actually get the private jets, but their lives would be in danger too. It is what it is at this point. In conclusion, there was literally nothing out of what Sheikh GUMI said. It doesn't matter, because whatever he's saying now, obviously publicly, maybe he's an attempt to, as a byproduct, please the people. I don't think the people will be pleased, but the main issue is with him and the government, and they're gonna have to sort it out. When it's sorted next week, we're gonna hear, we're gonna go back to the norm, go back to the routine of him defending bandits again. But what do you think? And don't forget to like and subscribe.